and Wall Street trading will get underway again. This is October the 1st. It's the first day of the fourth quarter of the year. We'll ring away the last quarter, which was awful, down 7% for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, we're expected to open 40, maybe 50 points higher today. That would put the Dow at around 16.3. It's precisely 9:30. Trading has begun. Where are we? Yeah, we got some movement. We're up 1 point. Whoa. Now we're up a third of a point. That's movement, boys. I'm telling you. Now we're up 11. Thank goodness. Look at. I'm going to say that's a modest start for the fourth quarter of the year after the rough third quarter. All right. Ashley Webster's here. So is Shoa Kasoni. Todd Horwitz joining us in New York from Chicago, and Scott Shellady marooned in Chicago, who is also on the show. Scott, to you first. Give me a forecast. Are we going to get a better fourth quarter for stocks than the third quarter?
You know what? I don't think so. I think that as long as the Fed stays data dependent, the data has continually disappointed every month on month. That's why we haven't had that rate hike yet. So I think the U.S. economy is not doing as well as everybody else thinks it's doing. And if you really take a look at the numbers, it's not. And number two is the global situation is not looking any better. We got bad news from Japan yesterday, bad news from Europe yesterday, and China's still faltering. So I think it's going to be more and more difficult as the data gets worse and worse and they stay dependent upon it.
All right, we hear you. And nodding in agreement right next to me is Todd Horwitz, who came to New York from Chicago. Same question. Fourth quarter, better than the third quarter, or what?
Worse and probably bad. It's going to be, we're going to go from stability to volatility. And I mean not the volatility we've seen recently, but real volatility. Not churning back and forth, but I think we're going to start to see some more significant drops in the market.
Now, Scott just said it's the global economy slowing down, and it's the Fed, which hasn't made up its mind what it's going to do. That's the problem here?
The biggest problem is the Fed doesn't know what to do and doesn't know how to get out. And now you've got Christine Lagarde also talking about
things. I think the exact opposite, Stuart. I'm sorry. I think Jerry Willis came on yesterday, made some really good points about 2011. We had a horrific third quarter. In the fourth quarter, it came back, and we still had global economic worries, which at the time was Greece and Europe. Ashley was over there. He lived through that.
We're 4 more years into this Fed recovery. We're $4 trillion.
So it's the Fed's fault?
No, the non-raising interest rates is the Fed's fault. Okay. We're $4 trillion in.
Okay.
Right. And what do we got for $4 trillion?
I think it's
Scott in Chicago, Todd in New York. You say it's going to be a rotten fourth quarter. It's going to go bad.
My glass
Cheryl
is half
thinks,
full.
No, it's not. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be rough because, yes, there was Greece in 2011, but let's face it, China is no Greece.
Outvoted 3-1, Cheryl. How about that? I want everybody to take a look at the price of oil this morning. It is up. We're around $47 a barrel as we speak, $46.93. Scott, come back in again, please. I think this rally in oil, if you can call it a rally, this move up in oil, has everything to do with what's going on in the Mideast. We've not heard that for a while, but I think that's the case this morning. What say you?
I think you're absolutely right, and that's a short-term bump on a short-term issue. But ultimately, Stuart, again, the economy, again, what we see as far as the global growth situation, it's going to be difficult for oil to rally because we need to really create some new real demand, as well as the fact that we do have such a supply hangover. So that situation is not going to get much better either. So, hey, $50 could be the new high, and we could plumb the depths and go below 40.
Okay, we hear you. I want to move on to individual stocks this morning. First off, General Motors. Sales numbers coming in up 12%. Not bad. General Motors at just right there at $30 a share. Ford Motor Company, they were up 23% in their sales, and they're just 14 cents higher. What were the big sellers?
Full-size pickup trucks and SUVs. Thanks to low gas prices and the love affair with the big trucks in this country.
But you'll always have a love affair with big trucks and big cars in America.
But if gas is expensive, it tends to trim those numbers. But we're seeing these sales take off, both for Ford, for GM.
You remember the Pope crammed into the back of a Fiat 500?
Can't forget that image.
Americans don't want to do that.
No.
Drive, for God's sake, come on. All right. I digress. Look at defense stocks, okay? How do you like that? An Englishman railing about big cars. Love it. Defense stocks. They rallied yesterday on news that came out of Syria. Look at them today. I've got 2 of them unchanged and a couple of them down a fraction. So no continuation of the defense stock rally that we did see yesterday. Okay, what's next? What we have next is defense stocks. You want to pass judgment on defense stocks?
I mean, I think defense stocks have been rallying since March. So the street expected troubles that we're getting now well ahead of the market. If you go back and look, you'll see some of them are up 20 or 30% since March.
Okay.
So I think I wouldn't be a buyer here. I think the news is already out. It's too late to buy them now, in my opinion.
Right. We dealt with defense stocks. Let's deal with storm stocks, shall we? Because we are keeping a close eye on that Hurricane Joaquin. The storm, we don't know whether it's going to make land in the United States. We don't know that, but it's everybody's taking preparations. And the group of storm stocks, as we call them, moved up yesterday. That would be Generac, Lowe's, Home Depot. This morning, Generac is up just a tiny fraction again. Home Depot, Lowe's down, and Briggs & Stratton, they're in the generator business. They are up again today, but not much. So the move took place yesterday, and even though the storm is threatening more today, we still don't have a move in the storm
wake of Sandy, I think people are getting more prepared this time. Okay, so it may not hit, but it could, and we know what happened with Sandy. So those stocks are doing well.
I bought one of those.
And to his point, the population in the Northeast is more. We've got more population here than you do in, say, Florida or Texas.
Okay, we're up 42 points, but let's take a look at Twitter, please. It reportedly will name Jack Dorsey as permanent CEO. Why do I care?
Well, you care because Twitter is kind of lagging behind Facebook, and this could actually be the fix that Twitter needs. And we believe today that they're going to name Jack Dorsey the CEO. He's going to keep running Square. He's going to take that public, we believe, at some point. And he's working on user growth and engagement. He's trying to fix Twitter. Looks like the board is behind him, and they got to do something. Maybe he is the guy.
I want to get to Scott Shellady on the subject of Twitter. Are you there, Scott?
I'm here.
Do you tweet?
I do tweet, not as often as they say I should, but I also believe that sometimes people say too much. So here's what I think. I think I've seen a lot of those interviews with Dorsey, and my feeling is that he wasn't that committed. He was kind of ambiguous and kind of wishy-washy whether he wanted to take that role or not. So I'm going to wait to see what he does, because I ultimately think the only real thing that he can do for that company is find a buyer.
I understand. I'm with you. Yeah. By the way, I believe your Twitter handle is Scott the Cow Guy. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's correct.
That's a cow guy's uniform.
Now.
With pride.
Remember, please, not too long ago, we put GameStop on Death Watch. You know, you play the organ music, that kind of thing. Well, get this. They're hiring 28,000 workers for the holidays. That's up 12% from last year. Nicole on the floor, what's going on?
Well, there's so much to this story. First of all, you're seeing the stock down just a little bit today, down 33 cents. It is 12% year-over-year increase in hiring. The prior year was up more than 40%, so it's less than the prior year. But Walmart's going to be flat. Target will raise. So this is everybody gearing up for the holidays to try and get those consumer bucks. And GameStop in particular is doing so well with games based on all the consoles, Microsoft Xbox One, the PS4, the PlayStation 4, all of those continue to grow.
I thought games were downloaded these days. I didn't think anybody...
That's absolutely right as well. But it says that they continue to do well selling games, and that's why they continue to boost for the holidays.
Okay, we understand. Nicole, thank you very much. Tune in. Every weekday morning, 5 o'clock, Lauren and Nicole will take you through the day in business very early. How about Amazon and CBS? Ash, they've got a deal? What's that?
Got a deal. They'll be able to, Amazon Prime customers will be able to watch the new CBS series programs just 4 days after they broadcast, streaming on Amazon Prime for free.
Bad news for cable companies.
Very much.
Very bad news for cable companies.
It's all about streaming. So they've done a deal so you can watch.
Okay, so
CBS
if I've got Amazon Prime, I can now watch CBS programs. I can stream them. I can binge watch if I want to. 4 days
after they first broadcast on CBS.
And the reason, this is streaming is king. David Zaslav, that runs Discovery, was on with Maria Bartiromo yesterday. That is all on his radar. And they're now really realizing as content providers, which CBS is a content provider, they've got to start to make these relationships work. You can't ignore the devil in the room, and that is streaming, and you got to make it work. And this is what CBS and Amazon are doing.
Okay,
cutting the cord, baby.
I think it's great.
Can you get a word in edgewise here?
No, I can't. It's bad news for Netflix, too. The blockbuster of the 2015 season.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
All right. How about this one?